Hey guys, Troy from theSPACE. Super excited for today's masterclass. I am here with Seamus from Boldacious Digital.
Hi.
Hey Seamus. So Seamus is a digital business consultant and WordPress consultant. Seamus, so why do we have to learn even more stuff?
The most common thing that I get asked or told, and we've just got so much stuff that happens these days. It is a genuine concern and something we need to look at and work out how much we do have to learn. And the internet has sort of become into our lives, in our business and our personal lives, more than anyone ever expected. And a good analogy is that early four-wheel drive Land Rovers were nice, simple, strong vehicles. They could go anywhere. They did break down a bit, but you could usually fix them with a bit of fencing wire and a pair of pliers. But as cars became more sophisticated, the modern cars, the modern four-wheel drives are just amazing things, but you can't fix them if they break down on the side of the road. You approach a modern four-wheel drive with a bit of fencing wire and it runs away screaming, so something you can't do. And even the mechanics need modern, sophisticated tools to repair them. And it's exactly the same in our modern businesses and in our modern personal lives. You know, most of us use our mobile phone for so many things these days. You know, our calendar for talking to our spouses, or, you know, all sorts of things. So it's not only our business life, it's our personal life as well.
Yeah,
so
cool.
We do need to... Well,
I was just going to say, what came up for me was, as things have become more sophisticated, the sophistication there is designed to help create ease and extend our capabilities and what we can do, create efficiencies, make it more comfortable. But the reality is, and maybe not so much in the car example, definitely when coming to fix it, but in our own like personal life, when coming to embrace the new, I know like there's often a little learning curve or a little hump that we need to get over, and sometimes that hump can be too much for people to get beyond, and then just, so part of what today is about is just showing people how to effectively, and working with you in these masterclasses as somebody that really embraces the new and the technical stuff, is to help people get beyond that little hump so they can integrate it and then get the efficiencies, get the advantage of the technology.
yes, and I love the internet and I love all this new stuff, so I'm sort of obsessed by it. Not everyone is like me, so what I can do is, I muck around with it, and I really love it. You know, I just get so excited when I see a new bit of amazing software. Cool. And because I look at so much of it, and I really am obsessed by it, I can filter out the stuff that's not very good and look at the stuff that really works. And I read a lot of reviews and I test stuff, so I'm sort of like a filter for these things for people. And I think one of the other things I can do, I say I'm bilingual. I can talk computer talk and I can talk human language as well. And a lot of tech people just aren't very good at talking to humans. They can talk amazingly to computers, but not to humans. So we need a translator between the two.
You bridge that gap. Cool. Hey, so today is a part of a two-part series on security. So we're going to talk around security today. Today we're going to talk around password managers specifically, and then in another masterclass we'll look at the two-factor authentication, both of which, you know, like they've been around for a little while. Some people have implemented them. Maybe some people haven't implemented them yet. And some people have partially implemented them, but it can be like, again, just, they're pretty simple from what I understand.
They are.
You're going to help to highlight how simple they are, but how effective they are. So let's just jump in. So password managers, Seamus.
Okay. Well, these days you need a password for every, you know, you've just got to remember hundreds of passwords. And for most people, that's really, really stressful. They either use the same password, which is, you know, really, really dangerous, or they use variations of a simple password. And that's also very dangerous. The hackers can hack those sort of things fairly easily. And so what really happens is, if it's a password you can remember, almost by definition, it's unsafe. And if it's a secure password, almost by definition, you can't remember it. So you're caught between the devil and the deep blue sea. But luckily, the password manager comes to the rescue, comes flying in on a big Superman cape. And password managers are a lot easier than people think. Basically, a password manager, you remember one big long password, and then the password manager remembers everything else. So you only have to remember one password. And generally speaking, these days, you should try and have a long passphrase, like a random sentence or a nonsensical sentence that you remember. And a good example of this is, I've got a phrase from my childhood called "And Grandma rides a bike." Now, I sort of use that plus another nonsensical phrase from my childhood. I can remember them, but no one else is really going to find them very easily. So they're a good one to remember.
So you need one password, 40 characters long, something that's not simple, that only you would remember. Yeah.
And it's a good idea to actually have someone else that you trust know that password. Probably not in your same household, say a brother or a sister or a parent. And you can even post them a letter with it in there, or find some way that they can have maybe texted to them with no other reference. But it's always a good idea, because this is your single password to get into your password manager. It's a good idea to have a backup of it somewhere.
Okay, cool.
So why don't we now share a screen? I'll just show you. Now, I'm sharing my screen here. I'm just going to check get another browser up.
Just while you're doing that, can I ask a question?
Yes.
So say, for example, so the password manager, you need one long 40-character password that you remember. So what's coming up for me now is that, well, why don't I just have that 40-character password that I can use across all websites? Why do I need the password manager?
Because what actually ends up happening is a hacker will try and find a site that's not particularly important to you. So say like this Dimix site, you don't actually have much stuff in Dimix that you care about. So they'll be able to find a way to hack into something that doesn't have much security, like Dimix. Then they've got your password, and from there they can get into other ones.
They've got the one password to rule them all. Gotcha.
Yeah, so that's the big trap with using a single password.
Okay.
And apparently some of the hackers, they call it social hacking, I think. I can't remember the exact term, but they're incredibly skilled at, say, ringing up Dimix and saying, look, I'm Seamus Campbell, I've forgotten my password, and giving them some hints about me and being able to sweet talk their way into getting a password from you. The people that just do that for a living. And they do it deliberately with a low security place.
Gotcha.
So yes, it's a really dangerous way of doing things.
And obviously the password managers are a much higher grade of security.
Oh yes, yeah, much higher than you can ever get on your laptop. And there's other areas with cloud security, which is it's up in the cloud, which is just another big computer somewhere really. But they have a lot more. They have an encryption. Sometimes they'll have a little bit of a password in one data center and a little bit of in another one. Gotcha. It's all sorts of really, really complex stuff to keep those things safe. So with LastPass, it's very easy to join LastPass. You just go to lastpass.com and follow the prompts, and you'll have access then. And it will ask you to install the browser extension, or maybe a Chrome extension, or whatever browser you're using, and then it will show up here. So once you've got that ready, say here I've got to fill in an account I've got to set up an account for Dimix, and they've got these fields: first name, last name, email, blah blah blah. So the first thing is I can click on my LastPass, and I've got a thing called form fields here. Now I'm just going to show you what this is, and then we'll show you how to use it. Basically, you fill in your details that you want people to, the site to know about. So your personal, your name, your address, your contact details. And then once that's in there, we've got this field here. I just click on, instead of filling each form individually, I click on form fields, I click on personal, and voila, it's filled in those forms for me.
Cool.
Now,
so just quickly with that, I know like the browsers can save a lot of your personal information, and you just sort of start typing and loads it in, which sometimes, you know, is a pain in the butt because it wipes over the information that you wanted to put in. But anyway, that aside, it can store information and even credit card details and passwords. And what's your thoughts on that?
Basically, it's pretty bad security. The main reason being that although the browsers store those passwords and details securely, anyone who can, if someone steals your laptop, say you're at a coffee shop, your laptop's open, they grab it and run, which happens, then they've got access to everything because they've got your computer open and they've got access to your browser. So they've got access to your passwords, all your details, your personal details. So as a general rule, I say, just say never store information in your browser. Try and store everything in the password manager.
And then, so off the back of that, you know, so you've got one password that you need to remember for your password manager. You don't obviously save that in your password, in your browser either, because then that is, you know, giving away the key to the kingdom, I guess.
It is, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
What is a very good idea too, because you don't want to store it anywhere on your computer actually, find someone who lives away from you that you really trust, like a parent, a brother, a sister, and type out the password, even send it to them in a letter or maybe text it to them without any other reference to anything, so that if something goes wrong and you just get a brain snap one day and you can't remember, you can ring them up and say, you know, what it is. And you can also put somewhere in your computer a thing like password hint. And, you know, my password phrase is, and grandma rides a bike. So the password hint would be grandmother bicycle, say. So it's enough of a hint to get me to know it, but not for anyone else to know what the phrase is.
Cool.
So now that we've got those, you know, and some of these forms are huge. So the form fill in your password manager will fill in every field in the form. And then you still don't care about your password. So you get the lovely password manager by clicking that little button there. It says, do you want to generate and fill? And you say, yes, please, because I don't want to remember it. And then you click on your join and it sets you up in the system. Now, I'm not going to join here because I've joined Dymix before. So what I'm going to do is open up a new page. And now that I want to go to Dymix and I've got it in LastPass from previously, to get back to Dymix, I just click on the little password manager. I look at my list of sites and I click on that, and that launches me in the site in the correct spot for a login. The internet's just slow at the moment. But I don't actually even have to type in dymix.com.au because the password manager does it for me. And then you'll see here it's filled out the form quicker than the eye could see, and I'm logged in.
No, well.
So that's actually a hell of a lot quicker than doing it manually.
Yeah, cool.
So, yeah, so it really is quite amazing. And it will, that with the form fills is...
Yeah, so I was just going to say, so form fill, that saves time, and then you've got your passwords all secure. You just got to remember one, ideally up to 40 characters, phrase. Yep. Yeah, that's great. Cool.
I'll just show you another quick thing of using the form fill. This is in another browser. This is just a long form I've made up. And I'm using a different browser, but a different password manager. I'm using Roboform. But I just have to click on Seamus Campbell, say fill forms, and it's filled in all of those forms immediately for me. So that saves you a lot of time. You know, some shopping carts, you know, like groceries, Woolworths, anything that delivers, you've got to put all that stuff in, whereas the password manager will do it all for you.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it is incredible.
Awesome. So pretty simple. So just to recap, and are you going to show us Roboform, or is it fundamentally the same sort of process?
Fundamentally the same sort of process. In the video, we'll have links to both.
Yep.
I get a tiny little commission with Roboform, and I prefer Roboform and use it more. But it's a personal thing. LastPass is also very, very good and the most popular password manager.
So LastPass, there's a free option. That's what we're suggesting. Just the free option is enough. Is Roboform, is that free as well, or is there a paid?
There's a free version of that as well.
And is that sufficient for most people, like startup founders?
Probably. It depends how much you use it for. So just to horrify you, that's my Roboform list of sites that I use on password managers. So that's only up to G. So I've got about 3 pages of them.
Wow.
So, and for that number, I have to buy the paid version, which I can't remember how much it is, but it's not very much.
Oh, is that what happens? So when you get so many free, and then that's how they...
Yeah, that's how they do it. And LastPass, actually LastPass might be a free trial and then a small fee to...
It was $2 a month or something like that.
Yeah. And when you think of the time you save, it's worth it.
All right. So just to recap, so password manager, you just need to go to LastPass or Roboforms. You download their follow the steps. Basically, click on the button, follow the steps.
Yes.
It'll link it to your browser.
Yep.
As an extension, and then from there you go to a new site and you can use the form field to fill out a new site, and then also. Coming back from that, you actually need to set up your LastPass or Roboform in the browser, and then you leave one password, about 40 characters, nonsensical, as a security. It's the one password to rule them all. Don't put that in your browser. Keep it secure. Make it nonsensical, but rememberable to a large extent.
Yes.
And then from there, you can use it's set up. You can add information into the form fill, and then you've got that set up. And then from there, whenever you go to a new site, you can just use that button at the edge of your browser to then fill forms, to go to sites, log into sites. So it becomes like your new best friend for moving in and out of different web applications.
Yeah, and once you've used it a couple of times, it's just so easy. You do it; it's second nature.
Cool.
And I don't bookmark sites much anymore because I use the password manager. Anything that needs a password goes straight into the password manager.
Cool, and then you know everything's secure as well. As secure as it can be in today's internet space.
Yes.
This is the latest in technology. That's been really, really helpful, Seamus. I appreciate you taking the time to come in and share password managers. I know we're going to catch up soon and go through two-factor authentication. So I look forward to that.
Second part of that. And if people have got any questions, I have a free 45-minute consultation. So anyone who's watching this video, they can just ring me up and ask me any questions about this. There's no, I'll just give you my advice. There's no
obligation.
No obligation for that, yep.
Okay, so we'll put some information down here in the comments below of how to actually take advantage of that. Seamus, thank you so much. Appreciate your wisdom and making something that is a great time-saving application so much easier for people to embrace. Cheers.
Yes, yeah, and safe.
Yes.
Okay.
Awesome. Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
Cheers.
See ya.